So today we're going to be talking about taking succulent cuttings. Now, when I tell you that this is the hands down best method in order to propagate your succulents, I am not kidding. This is how I took my succulent collection from just a handful of succulents to over hundreds of succulents in a matter of weeks. It takes no time at all. Everyone talks about how slow succulents are at growing. This is nothing, okay? This is how you need to be propagating your succulents from now on. No more leaf propagation as your sole way of propagating your succulents, okay? If you have leaves, sure, great. Throw them aside. We will propagate the succulents that way. But that is the slowest and least effective way to propagate your succulents. If you want to have true, real succulents, I'm going to show you these results because I have amazing examples here. So this is my Pearl von Nuremberg. This is the pearl that I took my cuttings from. This was one main rosette succulent. I took a cutting here. I'll include a link up here to the video where I made this succulent cutting, and you can see how I did that. I just took this top, cut it right off, okay, with a clean pair of scissors. This is what we are left with. We have not just one new growth, but 3 new rosettes, and you can see that within 4 months, we have bigger rosettes than the one that I took. This is pretty close, or let's see, this one's probably the closest. This one is bigger. In 4 months, I have a bigger rosette that is a new cutting than the one that we took off. So the way that I'm going to now deal with this succulent, because we now have 3 new babies on this, is I'm just going to come down here and make new cuttings and harvest off these guys, okay? You want to do this when your succulent is freshly watered. This one could have used a little bit more water, but for example's sake, I'm going to show you. You can take these leaves, throw them in for your leaf propagation, okay? I'm going to take off a few. These are where the roots are going to come out. And then what you do with this guy is you either let him sit and let him wait for a week, or you can put him in an arrangement, as I did with this one, or you can just stick them directly in soil. The only rule of thumb is that you want to wait at least a week before you give it any water, but really this has been weeks, and this has been 4 months, and I think I've watered it once. This will bounce back just fine. This, you just want to make sure has some roots before you water it, or that's usually how I go with it. Once it starts getting a little bit wrinkly, you don't want to overwater it and rot it. Honestly, I water these less than I do my normal succulents. So you'll put that aside. That's going to be a new plant. Because we took a cutting right here, chances are this will shoot off a new sprout, making us another plant. And then because this is already rooted in this pot, I'm just going to keep watering this like normal, and this will continue to make shoots. As long as I have, and especially because I have leaves down here below where I took the cutting, and you can see it's right here. That is where I took the original cutting. You can kind of see the cut right there. That is where I took the original cutting on this pumpkin, and it gave us 3 new shoots. Okay, so second example, this succulent right here, super pretty. Okay, this is the succulent I took it from. Now this one's a little bit different. It does send off more shoots in general. I'm pretty sure these ones were all there when I got them, these 4. Now, from this cutting, I had to take away some leaves, just as I did with this Pearl von Nuremberg just now, so that I could stick it in this arrangement. These are the leaves that I took from that cutting, okay? They look beautiful. This is an amazing leaf propagation, if I do say so myself. It propagated super nicely, and these are super adorable, okay? But this is 4 months of growth. Here, you can see all of these new little rosettes. All of these are new from taking that one cutting. All of this is 4 months of growth. That right there is so much bigger than this and this is my biggest leaf that I have from my leaf propagations. You can see how drastically much larger this growth is from the cutting in comparison to the leaf. If you take a succulent cutting, just make sure that there are leaves still on the plant that is attached to the roots. So in this Pearl von Nuremberg case, I took it about halfway up. That's where I took my cutting, and it had plenty of leaves. And the reason why you want to do that is because, I mean, you can just do it with a stem and it would probably still grow you new rosettes or new offsets. But if you leave it with some leaves, it's going to be able to absorb that sunlight, and that's how these plants get their energy. And so you want to leave them with a little bit of something in order to continue to grow. If they just have the roots, that's great too. It's going to get that water, it's going to get the nutrients from the soil, and it's going to also continue to grow. But the fastest way for sure is to leave a few leaves on there for the plant to use. I hope that this has given you a little bit of a sense of how much quicker succulent cuttings grow in comparison to propagating by leaf. I used to propagate only by leaf, and it was really frustrating because you take maybe 20 leaves and maybe 10 of them would grow something. And there's certain ones that are more successful than others. It doesn't really matter the method that you use. Honestly, the method that I've been using that has been the most successful for me is to just throw them and forget about them until they become this. Like, I haven't watered this guy or anything. The other thing though is that little growth is very susceptible to pests. So I'm talking specifically mealybugs. My leaves always get mealybugs on them, and I never can get them to not have mealybugs. However, cuttings, it grows so much faster, and I'm not saying that they're not susceptible to mealybugs. However, it is ridiculously less likely for me to find mealybugs on a cutting growth in comparison to a leaf growth. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is that this method I've found to work on pretty much every single type of succulent. And I say pretty much only because I haven't tried to propagate it on like certain types of cactus. Like, I don't know if you can just cut some of those cactus in half and have it work. I'm not really sure. I don't have a lot of those, and so I haven't experimented with them. However, like things like this bunny cactus, it has a lot of offshoots, right? And so you can take a cutting here or there and replant that, and it's going to do the same thing. Haworthias and aloes and these type of structures, I don't know what they're called because they're not necessarily rosettes, gastraloes, gasterias, those types of things. All of the weird funky ones that are not like Echeveria, graptopetulums, whatever. These ones I used to only think were able to be propagated by offsets, and that is not the case at all. You can also take cuttings from these guys and get tons more succulents. As you can see here, my leaves are a little dry and need some water, but right here is where I've taken a cutting in the past. This was new growth, that is new growth. Right up here in the top corner, I will be linking a video. Go check that out on how to propagate these guys and take cuttings from them, because that seriously made my collection of these guys grow tremendously. And like I said, any of the weird ones. So here's a bear's paw. I believe you can probably see here. This is where I've taken a cutting in the past, probably for that one there. And look at the new growth that we have from that. So many new little babies. If you want to see me taking cuttings on pretty much every single succulent that I own, I do have a video of me propagating all of my succulents. And in that video, I'm pretty sure I propagate my succulents about 95% through cuttings. I think there's a few that I might have done leaves for, but most of them are going to be through cuttings. I will include that up here somewhere. Definitely go check that out. I think you guys would like that video. So that is it. This is the best and fastest way to propagate your succulents. This is the method that I have used for the past several years and have absolutely loved it. I don't think I'd have nearly as many succulents if I was growing it through leaf or through any other method. This makes your succulents grow so fast, you guys. And if you're scared of taking a cutting, please don't be, because, you know, your succulent's probably going to keep growing. Just make sure that you've given it water a few days before it's going to be successful. The only other thing that I wanted to mention is that this t-shirt is in my Etsy shop, and so if you guys want to go check that out, the link will be down in the description box. This is my Plants Make Me Happy serotonin t-shirt. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really supports my channel. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'd love to answer them, and any questions that you might have on taking succulent cuttings or propagating succulents in general. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.